What's going on, everybody? It's an exciting new day at Anon TCG, and just want to announce to everybody that in our Discord, I know we've gotten a lot of questions as to how I have intel on how many items are available on certain websites for sale, and when new items come into stock. And just want to say that we do have the application; it's up and running in our Discord. So join the Discord. You can gather all the information. It is a small fee to use it, much less than what some of the other sites are. It's a boomer version, as I like to say. It's dumbed down. Notifications from the sites you care about. You're not going to get spammed to death with things, and you can check outstanding inventory at will. There's a 3 or 4 sentence how to, and there's a couple day trial. So join the Discord, check it out. In addition, we've had the store up and running, but now that we have a good amount of inventory in there, we've effectively priced everything to start moving. So we have Twilight, Stellar, Paldea, Paradox boxes in there. On the Pokemon side, we still have some Bloomburrow Commander decks, as those have rebounded. V-shaped rebound very quickly. We have Innistrad Remastered. Commander, collector boxes at $325, $325 flat. Again, everything in the store is $10 flat shipping, and we will have Aether Drift. We have about half of our allocation there, but once we get the rest, we'll have that in there, and we'll probably have some of the Blooming Waters in there as well coming up, and we may have some of the ancillary products from the second wave of Prismatic Evolutions, depending on pricing. So anyway, excited about the new functionality, and then we have a ton of other stuff coming that doesn't exist anywhere, which is awesome. We have a nice little internal team between the business side, the TCG side, and the technology side, where we have some really awesome things going on. So that brings us to tonight's video. Booster box pricing, and it's been a couple weeks since we've done this, and I know these boxes are all over the place. So let's bring up Excel here and put in some cards that have just had some massive moves. So let's go through set by set, and I have this truncated effectively for the last month of action. So we have the price activity on the left, and we have the actual quantity for sale on the right. And the one thing I wanted to do, let's set this up for days of inventory very quickly, so we have some idea of what's left. Shift this over decimal place, a little helpful. Okay, so SV base a month ago, just after Christmas, was $124. Now we're at $141, so $17 change. So this is actually a 1 month return, not a 2 month return. I had it 2 months last time. 13.7%, so not bad. And if you look at this list, as you now notice, Surging Sparks is actually the worst performing box in the set, and we'll get to that. But at some point, it was going to happen. It was going to slow down. So moving to quantity, we had 260 boxes available right after Christmas, 224 now. So a slight supply increase of 4%, average daily sales of 11, so 20.4 days of inventory. Certainly not ideal. Paldea evolved, going absolutely crazy. This was down in the 130s when we had that secondary release of product back in October. It's up at $191 now. It was actually over $200 at one point. It's pulled back a little bit. So $26, 15.8% in the last month. We're at $176 for sale, so we're actually up a little bit, 7% from a month ago. 15 boxes daily and 11.7 days of inventory. Again, this is only TCG player. I know eBay has product as well, and we're working on a product that's going to pull all that together and simplify it, which is awesome, but it's not quite there yet. So Obsidian Flames, another set that's gone absolutely crazy. 136 to 178, probably the most fun set to open. I don't like it because pulls are easy, but it's fun because pulls are easy. Almost 31%, the best performing set over the last month. And this thing was a dog forever. 219 down to 210, so a slight reduction of inventory. 11 boxes for of average daily sales. and 19.1 days of inventory. Paradox, everybody's favorite sleeper, 131 up to 152, so $21, 16% return. 193 to 205, a slight increase in inventory again. I think people are starting to list product now that the market's leveled out. What's the point of listing product when everything's going up every day? All you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot. So 11 boxes per day, 18.6 boxes on the open market. And we'll go through some of the cards too. I put them in here just so, you're not staring at Excel, but there's a reason for this. I'll go through it shortly. So temporal forces, 134 up to 161, $27. So 20.1%, the second best performing box, which is interesting because this and Stellar Crown are the two sets that are still available on Pokemon Center. And there's still a massive number of inventory of these out there. And again, you join the Discord, you get into the premium for, I think it's $3.99 a month. It's not much, but there's a free trial. You can check all these at will if you like. 174 down to 113. So 35% reduction of inventory, 12 per day, 9.4 days of inventory. Twilight, this is where it gets really, really tight. So 159 up to 187. This box was, I believe it kissed 200 for a second, up 17.6%. Inventory is down 38%, 23 boxes per day. This and Stellar Crown are kind of neck and neck. Stellar Crown was ahead for a while, but Twilight had a lot of product that sold in the last week or so. 5.8 days of inventory. Stellar Crown, my favorite set of the era, for a couple of reasons. $24, really among the lowest base here, other than SV base or starting point. 18.2%. Inventory is down almost 50%. There's 122 boxes listed. 22 daily sales on average, 5.5 days of inventory. And the reason I say this with 122, this is still available on TCG Player. There are under 5,300 boxes available. Once this drops under 5,000 boxes, and I believe the limit is 25 boxes at a time. I don't know why it's 25 because, there's 6 in a case, but whatever. It's going to absolutely disappear very quickly. And once it's out of Pokemon Center, it's most likely not on anybody's radar to reprint, unless, again, Pokemon just does a blanket reprint of everything in equal amounts. But this is probably the least likely set to get a reprint anytime soon. Now, one might argue, Base, Pally Evolved, Obsidian, Paradox won't get another reprint. I tend to disagree. I think there's going to be a large reprint of everything at some point before the end of the cycle. I'm guessing probably in the April-May timeframe. But again, could be totally wrong. I'm just guessing. So Surging Sparks, again, the worst performing box, actually worse than SV base, 22 or 220 to 250. But again, you run into the law of large numbers and people are moving the product, but it's started to move upward a little bit. So 358 for sale before, 211 now. Now the supply is misleading because on TCG Player, if you have a pro account, you can auto set it to feed product in the market. So I'm sure most of you guys are aware of that. You have certain products or certain stores that'll list 100, 150 boxes. And you look at it and it's like, oh, wow, there's going to take a lot of cash to eat through that. But in TCG Player Pro, I believe it's called, you can set it to 4 boxes or 6 boxes or 3 boxes, and it will constantly feed into the market. So you don't create that perception of there being a lot of boxes. And that's absolutely what's happened with Surging Sparks. It's also what happened with Prismatic Evolutions during the pre-sale period. I know MVP Sports is one that does it. There's a couple others, and it's actually really, really smart. So supply decline, 41%. Average sales are down to 40 boxes per day. So it's not low, but it's starting to get a little stale. And 5.3 days of inventory remaining. So among these, I think Stellar obviously has the highest upside because once it goes out of stock, it's going to go out of stock. Paradox Rift, I don't understand why it's still sitting at 152. I know there's a lot of product out there, but it's an interesting set. So let's talk about ETBs real quick. So I haven't tracked these previously other than taking a look at them, but we'll start now. So 151, $173 for ETBs. There's only 90 on the market. Paldean Fates, $99. I do think that there's a reprint of Paldea Fates going. I don't think any of them are going to be ETBs. again, as I've mentioned multiple times, I think there's some supply chain challenges with getting the plastic parts for ETBs. So I think it's going to be booster bundles and all the different EX boxes and all the large stuff that you don't want to store without ripping apart that goes to big box stores. 97 for sale. Shrouded Fable. This is starting to move. There's 11 boxes or 11 ETBs until this is a $45 ETB. So if you haven't been paying attention, it's moved under your nose. 905 available. There were 2,200 a couple weeks ago. So this has really started to move and really started to sell. Prismatic Evolutions down to 109, 2665. I think, as I mentioned last night, I think Trading Card World has like 1,200 listed. So this is, it's started to churn through inventory. But again, the expected value on these is actually really, really damn good. I crunched the numbers just on the SIRs, and the expected value is like $450 per pack just for those. And again, it's super lumpy, right? You could get shit on for 50 packs, and all of a sudden you get a banger. You just don't know. You're kind of at the mercy of the RNG or the random number generator. So just want to hit on a couple singles here, and this just adds a little bit of color. If you've seen or haven't seen, the Squirtle and Bulbasaur from Stellar Crown have gone absolutely nuts. The Squirtle is up over $80. The Bulbasaur is up over $70. These were $40, $50 cards forever. I think people are starting to realize that the supply is drying up, and these are two iconic cards from the era. Groudon from Paradox Rift is pushing $100. Raging Bolt's, it's been 100 and been down to 70. It's pushing 100 again. The Bubble Music, $425 from Paldean Fates. It's crazy. Eevee from Twilight Masquerade is $100. And then Raichu from Paldea Evolved, the card that not a whole lot of people talk about, is over 50. It's like 55, 57. So it seems like a lot of the money that was chasing booster boxes has gone to chasing singles. And a lot of singles within these sets have creeped up and, a little bit under the radar. And let's touch on these big ones. You have Houndoom and Persian from Shrouded Fable. And this is a product not a lot of people opened. It's a specialty product, so it's quite honestly a pain in the ass to open. Houndoom's pushing $85. Persian's pushing $100. Now, it looks like there have been some targeted buyouts of those cards. But, more power to them. God bless them. If people are going to sleep on cards, you buy in low, and then eventually people pay attention. Look at what happened with Scarlet and Violet over the last 6 months. It went from boxes that nobody liked because the boxes weren't going up to all of a sudden the boxes started going up, and everybody's like, oh, I love these now. So it's the same with singles. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's been a while since we've gotten to this. It's a super exciting market when you kind of throw Prismatic Evolutions to the side and you look backwards. So anyway, guys, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Again, we have some cool functionality in Discord now. Feel free to try it out. I'll link it. I'll link it below. Make sure the link refreshed. I think it resets every week, so it's kind of a pain in the butt to keep in the channel. But I guess have a great night. Thanks.